So each row children may be seated next to or on the left of their parents or accompanying adults. As the group typically holds the corridor, may follow them. But do not attempt to board the vehicle. Don't drop food or safari from show. For your own safety, all remain secure.
Gracias. Ciao everyone, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Make sure you like the seat that you're sitting in, because once we get moving, you will not be able to switch around and move seats at all, so please choose wisely. All of my friends on that right-hand side, please watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs as the doors will be sliding closed.
Sun is awarded. As we see here in Harambe, Twin Day, which means let's go. Down the friends, my name is Sarah, State of the Safari Animal Reserve. Before we get started, just a few safety reminders. Please keep those hands, arms, feet, and legs to the vehicle at all times. Please also remain seated at all times. That's include those lap sitters. Either remain need to have their mind seated on our lap the entire safari. Friends, please also be mindful we are entering the animals' homes, not the other way around. So we want to give them the utmost respect and keep those indoor voices on. This means no screaming, yelling, or whistling out at any of the animals. And we are just waiting that final all clear from the warden before we can head out in the reserve. While you're waiting, you're going to start getting those cameras ready. This is a photo safari, but I cannot stop for every animal, and every animal must definitely not stop for us. Make sure you have those cameras and phones ready to go. If you already have sports, we do highly recommend utilizing that, as it'll hopefully be one of our better options to capture the animals in motion. So we do have that all clear. So we're starting our journey today by heading out to Little Ituri Forest. The animals know to be really good at camouflaging. This means you want to keep your eyes looking towards bushes for any animals that might be hiding. Side on the hill, you can see there's a copper antelope that is the bongo. Bongos are often nicknamed the ghost of the forest because they do such an amazing job at camouflaging. You also may notice they have those about 3-foot long horns that tilt a little backwards and help them get to the forest a little bit easier. Now both male and female bongos do have those horns, but the males usually have a bit of a darker coat, and it's usually head to apart. And then coming up on our right side on the hill, I do see a tan antelope called the greater kudu. Those are actually some of the tallest antelopes. They stand about 55 inches at the shoulder. We can actually tell both of these greater kudu are females because only the males have horns. A lot of the animals here in Little Ituri Forest known to have very unique coat patterns that help them blend in with their surroundings, make them a little bit harder for us to find. However, this actually is a benefit of the animal. It also makes it harder for their predators to find them. And it looks like they are doing a pretty good job at camouflaging. So we're going to continue further out into the reserve to see what else we might be able to find. We are exiting Little Ituri Forest, heading up over towards the Safi River. And there at the Safi River, you'll want to look at the water. See any bubbles or shadows? Can actually be a sign there's a hippo there. Now also there's all these white birds on the right side called the pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get that name from the pink coloration on their backs, and why both males and females have this coloration. The males get spread during mating season as a way to impress the ladies. Now a group of pelicans is called a pod, and a group of hippos is called a bloat. So we have a little bit of a bloat coming up on our left side, just behind the island. There's one that's floating towards the top. You can kind of just see their back right now. Hippos are going to spend most of their day submerged underwater, actually doing this to help prevent them from overheating. They can hold their breath up to about 8 minutes at a time, which isn't really that surprising, considering their closest known relatives are actually dolphins and whales. Now with hippos spending most of their day submerged underwater, you probably don't find it that surprising, actually able to sleep underwater as well, as their bodies know how to bring them up for air without ever even waking them. Now if you have your left side, you see some Nile crocodile. Just a reminder though, friends, we do have to remain seated at all times. My friends that are standing, if we could take a seat. My friend in the center, if we can sit down, please. If we could tell that man sit, thank you. Alright, so the same goes for the little ones. We do really need them to stay seated, please. So my friends in the back. Alrighty, so just one more time, I really do need us to stay seated. That does include everybody that's on the truck right now. It does include the little ones. They really do have to stay seated. This is a very bumpy ride. It's be a huge safety thing. I really do need us to all stay seated, please. Alrighty, the Nile crocodile. So talking about them at least a little bit. If you ever see a Nile crocodile sitting with its mouth open, that is actually called gaping. Gaping is a form of thermoregulation. Thermoregulation is a really big fancy word that helps the animals regulate their body temperature. So basically, if they're hot, it's going to help cool them down, and if they're cold, it's going to help warm them up. And there are a lot of animals out on the reserve that do participate in thermoregulation in some way, which should definitely be super helpful for those animals during those hot and cold months. If y'all have a dog at home, you might find them panting. Actually, a fairly similar concept. And it looks like we're making our way out into the savannah, and I do see a few animals out in the distance. So hopefully as we travel along, we'll get a little bit closer and better view of them. Now it looks like on our left side, if you look in the back corner, they're laying kind of up the hill. As we pass by a little bit more, you might be able to see them better. We got some painted dogs. There's also a couple underneath the first tree. Now painted dog is actually a nickname for this animal, the African wild dog. They get that nickname though because as you look at their coats, it kind of looks like someone finger painted on them. They are known to be really good at hunting, catching their prey about 80% of the time, which is fantastic, especially in comparison to lions. Only catch their prey about 30% of the time. Then in our back left corner laying down, you have some sable antelopes. Because they have those really cool long horns that tilt pretty far back. Well, sable antelopes will actually often utilize those long horns to help protect them and prevent predators from jumping on their backs. Now, in a fight or flight situation, sable antelope will almost always choose to stick around and fight, often actually utilizing those horns when doing so. And then it looks like in just a moment, we're going to come across a family of Hartman's mountain zebras. We can tell it is this specific species of zebra by looking at their neck. They have a little skin flap called a dewlap. A dewlap is going to help them regulate their body temperature, a little bit of that thermoregulation I was just talking about. And you may notice we actually have two baby zebras here on the reserve. They are both just about a month old, just a little bit older than that. And they are They were actually born just a couple of days apart from each other. That's something pretty cool about zebras. They do have a unique stripe pattern. Never find that exact same pattern again. It's actually very similar to how our fingerprints are unique to each of us. You'll never find that exact same one again, which is actually be super helpful for those baby zebras because within the first few days of their life, they're going to memorize their mom's stripe pattern. Now, coming up on the left side in just a moment, you'll see there's a Maasai giraffe on the hill. There's actually a couple of them kind of scattered around the savannah. But Maasai giraffe get that name because they were discovered in regions similar to the Maasai tribes that are found in Africa. And they are, of course, the tallest land mammal. They grow about 16 to 20 feet tall. This also means whenever they're born, they have about a 6-foot drop ear. Definitely quite the welcome. That abrupt welcome in the world will be super helpful to those and help get them on their feet very quickly as giraffes actually stand or walk in the first hour of their life. Now, on the very far right side, you might notice a couple of gray animals. There's also a couple more on the very, very top of the hill. Well, those are the wildebeest. And typically, whenever you see one wildebeest, you're going to see a lot more, as they do love to travel in really large herds. Those herds can get to be as large as 1.5 million wildebeest. Actually, such large herds, you can see the dust they kick up when they're running from space. Got a couple more giraffes coming up on the left side as well. A group of giraffes actually called a tower. We have that tower. Now, a lot of these giraffes that we're seeing have been eating. That is not too surprising, though. That is what you're going to find them doing most of the day, as giraffes actually only need to sleep about 30 minutes a day. And they don't even do that consecutively. They'll actually take a few power naps here and there and then get right back to eating. Now, as we travel through the savannah, you want to take a look around at the landscaping. It's actually often assigned to us of what animals you might find nearby. For example, right now we're about to come across a whole bunch of fallen trees, which is actually often assigned to us that an elephant has passed through. These will often knock down those trees, eat the branches, and leaves off them. So hopefully, see how these fallen trees are a pretty good sign for us that there is an elephant nearby, and I do see one. As we're able to travel along, we'll be able to get a better view of them. So there's actually 2 of them. And these are the African elephants. They are the largest land mammal, weighing up to about 13,000 pounds. They eat up to about 300 pounds of food a day, which also means they go to the bathroom about 150 pounds a day. And I do also look on the left side. I see some mandrills over there. Mandrills are actually some of the largest monkeys. They also weigh up to about 100 pounds, known for having a beautiful bright red and blue color on their nose. It gets brighter as they get more excited. See the Lion King Rafiki is actually modeled after a mandrill, and you'll actually be able to see there's a baby mandrill there. She's hanging out with her mom right now, and it's pretty cool to see. She's only been out about a week. May have seen that elephant was using their trunk to help grab water and bring it up to their mouths. They're going to use that trunk for a lot of different things. So one thing is to grab food and water and bring it up to their mouths. There's actually a fairly common misconception that while elephants drink water straight through their trunks, that's not really true. They actually use their trunk kind of as a straw. So to grab the water and bring it up to their mouths. Another thing they'll do with their trunk is grab sand and mud and throw it on their backs as a way to help kind of cool themselves down. It can also act as a sunscreen. Elephants have very sensitive skin, so they'll use that to help protect their skin and prevent it from getting sunburnt. Are part of a matriarch society, and they're led by the women of their herd. It's also that around age 15, the male elephants will be kicked out of their herd. So you see a group of elephants, well, that is probably a group of female elephants. see them off for themselves, that one is probably a male. And there is, however, a exception to this rule. Every now and then, those male elephants will break off for themselves, creating very small herds composed of only other male elephants. And while it doesn't happen a lot, whenever it does, we call those herds bachelor herds. If you look on the right side, I do want to point out this really large tree right here called the baobab tree. There's another one a little bit further up on the left side. But the baobab tree actually has a few nicknames, one of them being the upside down tree, because if you look toward the top, well, it sort of looks like it has roots growing towards the sky. Those are indeed just its branches, because leafless 9 months out of the year. Now, another nickname for the baobab tree is the tree of life, very similar to the tree at the center of our park. It gets that nickname because it can store thousands of gallons of water. You see it for helping the animals during drought season, as these are horns or tusks that will pull the tree. They'll drink the water that way. Then on our left side, we have the greater flamingo. Whenever greater flamingo hatch, they are a gray and white color. At around 2 years old, they'll turn completely white, as they use shrimp made of keratin to turn that pink color that we're wearing. Now, a group of flamingos is called a flamboyant. You actually get that name, that beautiful bright flamboyant color that you'll find on their wings. Now, so pretty cool about flamingos is they are filter feeders, means they don't necessarily need to eat their food to get their nutrients. Can actually just drink the water and absorb it that way. Again, that is called filter feeding. Side notice we do have some mud puddles there that are often utilized for the animals. They're going to roll around that mud, cover themselves in it, so they help pull themselves down. Also act as a sunblock. An animal you'll find doing that a lot, especially in this area, is the white rhino. So have to keep an eye out. Maybe a family of muddy white rhinos, and actually I do see some as we round the corner coming up on the right side on this hill. Do also look on our left side though, as we've heard we've had some cheetah spottings recently. Can't be hard to find though, because they use those spots to help them blend in with their surroundings. Now, cheetahs are the fastest land mammal. They run about 65 miles an hour, and they have very low stamina, which means that after they run, they're going to have to take a break to catch their breath. This also means we need to be very strategic when they plan out those runs, because they cannot run for long periods of time. So there is one walking around. She's kind of towards the center of the hill right now. I feel like at the cheetah's eyes, you may notice they actually have pretty dark eyes. They've got black tear ducts that can help reflect the sun and protect their eyes. It's kind of like you might find an athlete wearing black paint underneath their eyes. Left side, notice we do have the Kofi Rock, so they look familiar. That's actually because they were the inspiration for Pride Rock in The Lion King. The lions do like to hang out here sometimes, so as we round the corner, we will see if we can find any. Now, lions are nocturnal. This means they're going to spend most of their day sleeping. Resting about 16 to 20 hours a day because they prefer to hunt at night, as their eyesight is about 7 times better than ours during the day. When they do go hunting, though, they're usually going to have the female lions do that, as they're responsible for about 85% of the hunting, also responsible for raising their young, whereas the males are usually going to stay at home to protect the pride. Pride, of course, we call a group of lions. Now, so those lions might be sleeping right now, but something pretty cool about them is you might find yourself across the park later today, and you might hear a noise you don't recognize. Look at actually this lion's roaring, as you can even roar from miles away. And on our left side behind this first tree, you'll see there's a pile of sleeping warthogs. They kind of look like fuzzy gray rocks. Now warthogs get that name from the warts on their face. Females have 2, whereas the males have 4. Now, warthogs are known to be quite intelligent animals. They can actually change their sleeping patterns based off their predators. Predator is nocturnal, male be too. Prey sleeps night then, so will they. Then off the right side coming up, we've got 3 female ostriches as well as some of those rhinos. These ostriches, like I said, are female. You can tell that based off their feather color. Males have black and white feathers, whereas females have tan and gray. And the ostrich is the largest bird. They are a flightless bird, and they cannot fly, but they can run. They can run very fast, actually about 40 miles an hour. It's a fast animal on 2 legs. And you'll notice we do also have, like I said, those ostriches, the white rhinos. White rhinos are the largest rhino, weighing up to about 5,000 pounds. They are actually in the top few largest land mammals, right behind those elephants, of course. Now, we do actually have 3 younger rhinos here on the reserve, all ranging within the span of a couple of years old. You may have noticed, though, that they're actually pretty big, as white rhinos do grow quickly, growing up to about 100 pounds each month the first year of their life. So they get pretty big pretty quick. Now, white rhinos are nearsighted. They cannot see that well from far away. However, this does heighten their other senses, like hearing and smell. You'll often notice their ears move around quite a bit, always listening to their surroundings. Now, coming up on our left side, we're coming across the warden's post. Sadly, as the warden has been farming Nigerian roof goats, and asked me to mind checking in on them. Nigerian roof goats are really beneficial for farmers. They provide milk and meat, also very small animals, because they don't require a lot of land to be farmed. Now, if you're looking for a chance, maybe try to pet some goats today, I do highly recommend heading over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. You got train them in here every now and then. Okay, I'll take you over to Conservation Station, because there are affection section. There's our petting zoo. There you'll be able to pet some goats, some sheep, some pigs, a few other animals here, as well as you can participate in an animation experience. Bring that have drawn a Disney character, pretty cool, so you're going to be able to take home with you. So I'll be over at Rafiki's Planet Watch. It is here in Africa. Just keep in mind that anything of live animals will close earlier than the rest of the park. So you have to take a train there, and the last train leaves at 4:30. So you want to think about, you got to do so by 4:30. Now, friends, we have seen a lot of really awesome animals today. If you'd like to learn more about how you can help them, you can actually start today by donating to Disney's Conservation Fund at any food or merchandise location across Animal Kingdom. The Walt Disney Company will match every donation dollar for dollar, and 100% of those proceeds go directly towards the fund. The Disney's Conservation Fund does an amazing job in helping out different organizations across the globe. Some that help out for species that might be endangered, others help out with conservation efforts. If you'd like to learn more about Disney's Conservation Fund and the organizations they support, you can check them out at impact.disney.com. Then, friends, if I have any wilderness explorers on board, you'll been on the Simba 1. You can find that on page 15 of your guide, and that is the Simba 1 on page 15. As you make your way out to that unload dock, start gathering those personal belongings. Check those pockets, check those seats. Has been a bumpy ride. As you gotta make sure you don't leave anything in the trunk, because it is a pretty long walk back to Africa. Now we are stuck in a little bit of traffic jam, but it looks like those trucks are starting to move, so we should be doing the same in just a moment. And if you find out any questions about any animals or anything that you saw, feel free to stop by my window on the way out. I'll be more than happy to try to answer those for you guys. As you're looking to see some more animals right after you exit our safari, you're actually in a great location as you're going to pass by the entrance of Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. And there at Gorilla Falls, you can find obviously gorillas, as well as some okapis, some meerkats, naked mole rats, reptiles. There is also an aviary there. You can see 23 different species of birds. Lots of really awesome animals there. Again, that is a walking trail, taking about 10 to 15 minutes to go through, but you truly can spend all day there. There's so many amazing animals doing so many amazing things. It is accessible to everybody. You are more than welcome to, and in fact encouraged to bring wheelchairs, ECVs, strollers, scooters, all of that sorts onto the trail with you. I always recommend, if you have any little ones that maybe it's time for nap time, plopping them in the stroller and just kind of walking around. It's not usually that busy, so I find it pretty relaxing. Now, if you'd y'all decide to come back to that trail a little bit later, no worries. Just make sure that you're back by 6:30, as that's when that trail is going to close today. If you do find yourself really enjoying that trail, and there's actually a sister trail to that one over in Asia called the Maharaja Jungle Trek. And there you'll be able to find these Sumatran tiger, Komodo dragon, flying foxes, which are actually take the fruit bat, as well as you've got another aviary. You can see even more birds over there. And that one's going to be kind of tucked to the back of Asia. It's actually near Kali River Rapids, which is actually a water ride. And it's getting pretty hot, so it might be a ride that you want to check out while you're over there as well. Now, along with riding Kali River Rapids, another great way to help combat the heat is by staying hydrated. Luckily for you, at every quick service location across Disney property, we give out free cups of water. Just go up to the window and ask them for however many you need, maybe to refill your water bottle. That's going to be some great reusing, recycling, but also you can just get those free cups of water, which is really, really awesome. Yes, we have any quick service location that you can find, or you can just ask a cast member, they'll be able to point you to the nearest one. Now, another great thing that I do recommend is checking out our 2 air-conditioned shows. That's right, I said air-conditioned shows. You can sit down in the AC for about 20 to 30 minutes. So in Africa, we have the Festival of the Lion King, which is a musical that follows the characters from The Lion King. You might know some songs in it. You can sing along. It's a really, really awesome show. I do recommend checking that one out. And that is in Africa. You can find show times for that on the My Disney Experience app, as well as they are posted outside the theater. There is another show called the Finding Nemo the Musical, The Big Blue and Beyond, which is kind of in between Discovery Island and Dino Land. And that show follows the characters from the Finding Nemo movies. So you can check that one out as well. Again, in AC, get to sit down, like I said, for 20 to 30 minutes. Very relaxing. We are just waiting for those few trucks in front of us to clear on out. It's almost our turn. It does look like those trucks are starting to move, so we get to head up there as well. And we're getting that all clear. Now, friends, the video today, I do want to teach you the Swahili phrase, which to us means to go well. Okay, Kaharini. Kaharini, my friends, go well, go well. Alrighty. And my friends on the right side, please watch those hands, arms, feet, and legs so they're side and open. Thank you all for joining me today. My name is Sarah. Have a great rest of the day. I'm Kaharini.